All right, Karma, this is for you. This is a palette of all the items that we checked in and how they're stacked up. There's some stacked along this wall over here. That's the big box, brown box says fragile, is shipped in from Salt Lake. And here's an item that there's a part of the poster. You can see that sometimes FedEx and UPS are not as nice as they possibly could be. Here's another box that's received a little bit of damage because of shipping. I did open it, did cut it open just to make sure that what was in there wasn't damaged and seemed to make it okay. Another one from FedEx that saw better days when it got here. But for the most part, most things came in pretty good shape and without too much of a problem. So you can see, you know, hopefully give you about a fairly good idea of how much stuff comes in. And again, it's all stacked up, you know, on a pallet. Give you kind of an idea of, and we've taken a little bit off, not a lot. We logged in a few things yesterday. Here's, give you kind of an idea how long I would call that pallet is. About 3 levels of paper boxes tall, maybe a little bit more when we had everything on there. Okay, so when we moved into this room, okay, this gives you an idea of the kind of workspace that we're working with. I've got some posters laid out here, trying to flatten it down a little bit. One thing that we don't talk about is all the trash. This is just from what we checked in about 2 hours yesterday. It's really not too much, not too bad, but you know, we've got some more. Got another table laid out here in order for us to start checking more stuff in. I've started making some notes, and we printed out a sheet, and I don't know if you can, this is sharp enough to read or not, but we had to create a column and give them each item a number, and we had it sorted by categories when we gave the numbers to keep track of it. And then when we printed this out, I resorted it by companies. And so the first column is the numbers that were assigned to the company, and I deleted a lot of the columns that you sent me just because we didn't need all of them when we do the check-in. This column, second column, is a description of what the item is. That's what you have listed as what you want on your plaque. The next item column is the category that they are, the number category, and the name of the category. We left a column of yes or no as to whether they're members, which really doesn't matter during check-in. Let me put this over to the first page. If they had multiple entries, I went ahead and left that column in there so we'd have it. Press, really that's more just to know whether they're checking in the right category or not, whether it's offset press or non-offset. And there are a few things when people weren't sure about non-offset, they put in things like you know, offline coders and things like the plate burner. Some people even put that in, or what kind of plates they were putting in. And then non-offset devices, I went ahead and left that column in, so when we were checking it in, we could be sure. You know, sometimes they put Xerox, and you know, whether it's a DocuColor or an iGen or an Express or whatever it may be. Okay, so here, we don't have shelves. That's Larry Wright that was doing the shelves that you mentioned. Which is real handy, especially during the judging process, to have the shelves all laid out and numbered and marked where we can get them. So we used envelopes, and as you can see, these are envelope boxes that the standard number 10 envelopes come in, and we use a 10 or 12 by 15.5 clasp envelope. Works pretty well for most things. Sometimes we get into the posters and things, and that has to be done separately. But here is one box that has the original judging piece in it, and once we get going, get a lot more logged in, we will have a lot of these boxes out here, I'm sure. And then here's the box where we will have the backup pieces. You can see that we've numbered the envelopes, and actually a lot of these are ones that we used last year too. So we've got one, and then we've got one, and you can't see it probably on there, but we got backup on them, BU or whatever, to indicate that these are backup envelopes. Okay? And again, there'll be several boxes of backups because of just the sheer number of ones that we have to do. And then we've got our stock of extra envelopes. We did lose a few last year. Place to lay out the posters, the larger flat posters. This is the first large one that we did, and right now we just have it laid here. All of them are together. We'll separate it once we start getting some. But again, it's just a matter of having a lot of space. Here's envelopes that we have not started using yet. We don't have haven't come across any category 2 since we just started logging in yesterday. So here's some extras that one company sent. I'm not sure why they sent extras, but again, you end up with a lot of extra stuff that you don't need, and a lot of trash. The trash will be, by this afternoon, we'll fill up this whole area, and that becomes a little bit of a problem. I started writing notes, and step one was create envelope and number envelopes for each category, 1 or 2, depending on the number of entries that create envelope jobs for extra copies. Step 2 is create a numbered label to attach to entries, 4 per entry, and we hand wrote those because we had these small sheets and we didn't do it right. We wrote, I figured out how many entries there were per category, and then we wrote out numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, 6A, whatever you. What we didn't do was we didn't leave space to include the login number. So we should have like category 3, item number 351. That's really not category 3, but I think you get my drift. So once we get it logged in and numbered, and we put the sheet into the item, you can see right there that I had to add a number 1 next to the number 1 to indicate the entry number and the category number. Like I said, every year we have to kind of figure this out, and from what we did the year before, and hopefully by recording this and writing some notes this time around, we'll have better detail for you. Hope this helps. A lot of organization. Also, you can see we haven't opened too many boxes, probably about 8 or so yesterday, and there's also a lot of packing and stuff that comes with it that just takes up a lot of space. And this area right here, see if I can get a wider shot, that's probably about a 12 foot by 12 foot area, and this is probably about the same thing. So maybe a 24 by 20 area that we're checking stuff on right now. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And it's about at 10 minutes, so we'll see you all later.